Okay, y'all know how people have been sharing on TikTok their dating stats for 2024, like how many first dates they had, how many first dates turned into a second date, what type of situationships they had, if it was like a boyfriend-girlfriend situation progression or whatever. I decided to share mine. 0 dates, 0 first dates. I did, however, give my phone number to one person, and I'm going to tell you why. I very much regret that and do not know if I will be repeating that again in 2025. So back in February of this year, we were going to New Orleans, a group of friends and myself, for my friend's 40th birthday. A little bit of context. I have not had a date in over 10 years, y'all. I have not had a date in over 10 years. So I was promising my friends that I was going to be like open on this trip and just like not as rigid as I typically am with my criteria for just like meeting new people, right? So I get to the airport and I'm going through security and I notice this dude like standing on the wall, arms folded. While I'm going through security, he's already passed, he's standing on the wall. I'm assuming he's waiting for someone behind me, like he had a friend or someone else that he was waiting for. And so I just get my bags, collect my things, and I move on. I notice he starts walking when I start walking. And he makes a comment like, "Oh, you were having some trouble with your bag there, huh?" And I was like, "Excuse me, you talking to me?" He's like, "Yeah, you were having some trouble with your bag." I was like, "No, I had it. I'm good. I do this all the time. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this." He was like, "Well, that was my opening line. I just didn't know what else to say to you." So I was like, "I'm going to give you an opportunity to try again. I feel like you can do better than that." And he was like, "Okay, well, how about my name is," we're going to call him D. He's like, "My name is D. I think you're very beautiful. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "That's much better. I'm London. Nice to meet you." We proceed to have a little bit of small chat. He told me what he does. I think he said he was like engineer. He was in town for some sort of job related function. And I was saying I was going to New Orleans for my girlfriend's birthday. And he's like, "Oh, he's from New Orleans. He lives there and he's on the same flight as me." I'm thinking in my head, oh, great. Now if this gets awkward, I'm not going to be able to get rid of this guy. So we proceed to get on the escalator. He said, "Well, I don't want to bother you. I know you probably have your airport routine and I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but would you mind if I asked you for your phone number? Could I have your number?" And in my back of my head, I'm hearing my friends like, "London, don't be strict over there. Be kind." So I'm like, okay, yes, I gave him my phone number. I saw that he texted me. I'm going to show the receipts in a second. He texted me his name and I just said, "Okay, I saved you." Okay, so fast forward and we are boarding.
Okay, let's just pause it right here. Okay, so for context, this lady is 40 years old. I think she's attractive. She's an attractive woman over 40 years old, which, by the way, a bunch of them are single and childless nowadays. I don't know why, but that's the trend, okay? And I guess she says she hasn't had a date in 10 years. Whoa, okay? And it's a long time for a woman, especially a woman over the age of 30. So, she hasn't dated any of her 30s, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the backstory, but that's just wild. Anyway, I guess dating is weird for her. A guy tried to approach her and get her number, and she was kind of standoffish. And what I didn't like, what she said was, "Try again." You see, this is the issue with modern women. They want a man to essentially interview for a job position at a job they're hiring called their dating life, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? To date them, you got to interview with them. And the problem I see with that is that how could a woman be interviewing us when they don't want to give us money? You see, when we interview women because a wife or girlfriend, this costs money. But for most women, if they date a guy, it's profitable. They make money, okay? So it doesn't make sense for them to interview us. Second, women want us to fit in with their worldview. So we have to adopt their worldview in their minds. That they want to find someone that thinks about the world the way they do and thinks about them the way they do. Like, they want a guy who looks at them as the prize, who's a Democrat, you know what I'm saying, that believes in the same kind of social justice warrior stuff that they believe in, and the only men they can find like that are beta men. This is why a lot of these girls are constantly either serial dating or gave up on dating altogether, because the guys they actually start dating are beta simps, right? And no woman could really love a beta simp long term, right? So anyway, let's listen to what else she got to say, and we're going to respond.
He gets on before me. We're on Southwest, so it's open seating. So when I get on the plane, I see him anxiously awaiting my arrival on the plane. I could tell he was looking for me. And at this point, I already gave this man my number, so I have to interact with him. I cannot ignore him. So he's like, he had a whole row to himself. He's like, "Hey, I saved you to see. Would you like to sit here?" And at first, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I was saved by the fact that there was no bin space. So I was like, there's no bin space. He stands up and he's like, "I'll move all this around." He starts messing with everybody's bags. And there was a man behind like, "Don't move my bag. Don't touch my stuff." And I was like, we're holding up the line. No big deal. I'm just going to go towards the middle of the plane. So I keep going. I put my bag up. I sit down. Before I can even sit down, this man has texted me. Text message says something like, he would have much preferred me as his roommate because whoever's sitting next to him now is loud and obnoxious and they're getting on his nerves. So I'm just joking, making small talk. And I'm like, listen, don't let them put you on the no flight list, behave or whatever. And he goes on to say, do I have Instagram? And before I can even respond, because I was not giving him my Instagram, he says, I would like to stare at you for a while. And I'm staring at the message like immediate ick. I knew this was a bad idea, and now this is my confirmation that this was a bad idea. So I respond back and say, do you make a habit of staring at women you just met on Instagram? And he tries to clean it up like, no, but what I meant was, like, if you were sitting in my row, I could have been staring at you in person. No, that's not better. So in my head, I'm like, immediate red flag. Alarm bells. He's a serial killer. I have given my phone number to a serial killer. So I am texting my friends on the side like, y'all have influenced me to like not be as strict over here with myself. And I gave my number to this creep. He's sending me messages on the plane talking about he wants to stare at me, asking me for my IG. And my friends are like, did he really say it like that? What exactly did he say? I'm trying to send them screenshot receipts, but it's not going through because we are actively in the air on the plane. I'm like, no, y'all, he's said it verbatim how I told y'all he said it. So he tries to clear it up because I'm like, so your plan was to stare at me for the duration of the flight? And he's like, no, you're taking it the wrong way. More talk than stare, like get to know you. And I'm like, okay, that sounds a little bit better. And he got the hint that he kind of gave me the ick and he left me alone for the rest of the flight. It was a short flight and I just knew that this was not going to be the end of it. We land in New Orleans. I'm texting my friends, telling them I landed. I'm going to meet them at the Airbnb. And sure as I thought, this man was waiting for me at the exit of the airport. And he's like, oh, just wanted to say bye before I left. I have a 30-minute ride ahead of me. Can you give me your IG so I can look at your pictures while I'm in the car? He brings this up again. Like the first time he had not sufficiently weirded me out enough. So mind you, again, my phone is open actively because I'm texting my friends and I'm ordering my Uber at the same time. This man grabs my phone out of my hand. The only thing that saved him in that moment was that I am incredibly scared of being put on a no-fly list, so I don't want to act a fool down to the airport. But when I tell you I was hell hot, I was hell hot. He grabs my phone, navigates to Instagram, puts in his name, and then he follows himself from my account. Then he goes back to my account and he starts scrolling through my pictures and he's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. You're exactly my type. Making all these noises, roasting me out, and just like gave me my phone back and was like, my Uber is here, so I have to go. Tell your friends that you met a handsome guy on the plane and he's going to be taking you out tomorrow night, so you're not going to be kicking it with them. So I politely told him that's what will not be happening. I said, but.
Okay. And you understand where this is heading. It's not a word. You understand where this is heading. I think it's really funny that she's making an entire TikTok video about a man she doesn't like. And it makes you think that when women actually get approached by these quote unquote creeps, it makes for a great story for them to tell people that, oh my God, I'm such a wonderful woman and all these men, they throw themselves at me and they're so creeps. Why they can't be normal? Baby girl, this is the only guys you attract, apparently. You haven't had a date in 10 years, and the first guy that approaches you, and then all to 2024, this is, by the way, she posted this December, the end of December, the 30th of December of 2024. If you're watching this in 2025, it's only a few months ago in March. But anyway, so essentially, the whole 2024, she didn't have one date, but she gave her number to this one guy that she's making a TikTok video about, who she thinks is extremely creepy because he finds her attractive. You're over 40 and you're repulsed by the fact that a man finds you attractive. You know, everybody has their dating problems. I have my dating problems. My dating problems is I attract more people than I actually get along with. Okay? But I also attract people I get along with. She seems like she attracts only people she doesn't find attractive and gets along with. Like the kind of guy she wants never approaches her, right? And the exact kind of guy she's creepy about are all over her. And apparently she thinks something's wrong with men. So it's our fault. It's our fault only creepy men approach her and feel comfortable enough to holler at her. It's our fault. But all the men that she'd really want It's their fault that they don't approach her. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. I feel for this woman. Her name is London. I feel for you, London. I don't think you should be going through this in life. Even your friends know something wrong with you, girl. Your friends are saying, oh, come on. It's not that serious. Because they know you over-exaggerate everything. You get the ick. You're 40 years old still getting the ick. Again, women want us to fit into their lifestyles. I don't understand how women think a man can still be a man and fit into your lifestyle. It doesn't work like that. But this guy that hollered at you, he's trying to fit in your lifestyle. So what do you want? If y'all want the kind of men y'all want, here's the reality. The kind of men these women want, they are not attracted to them whatsoever. Like I don't even think she would want a guy like me because, first of all, the guy that she wants doesn't exist, right? She wants a guy that she can control, but also alpha. That's like an oxymoron that doesn't exist. She wants a guy that she really respects, but at the same time, he naturally likes everything about her, and they naturally have shared values. This is something that rarely happens between black men and black women, because black women tend to be very, very liberal, and black men tend to be very, very conservative. So this idea that we're going to share views is almost completely impossible. Now, the black men that are liberal tend to be extremely beta and creepy. Not all of them, not all, but they tend to be men that will compromise or change their opinion to appease a woman. And we know from the book, The Way of the Superior Man, that is not a superior man. Chapter 6, never change your mind to please your woman. Never. And only beta men do that. And I guarantee that guy that hollered at her would change everything about his life to get her approval. He will sniff her ass to get her approval. He snatched her phone out of her hands. So he's an aggressive, violent beta. That's the kind of guys that she attracts. So if you're upset with the kind of guys you attract, baby girl, it's your honey. This is the flies that got attracted to your honey, okay? So you got to fix yourself. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you over there.